Hi, I'm Jennifer Davis. I'm an occupational therapist at Joy Laughter Developmental Therapy. Today, I'm going to talk about executive functioning skills and what a child needs to know before they can be successful with getting their homework done. Many children with ADHD are expected to organize themselves and execute the skills for homework when their brains are not developmentally ready to do those things yet. Children without ADHD often have stronger organizational and executive functioning skills, which allow them to be more successful and independent with homework tasks at an earlier age. Children with ADHD don't struggle in their intellect. Oftentimes, they're very bright. They just don't have the organizational and executive functioning skills to be successful with tasks like homework. There are several executive functioning skills that are of critical importance for a child to be successful with organizing themselves and completing their homework. These tasks include things like attention, working memory, response inhibition, sustained attention, and emotional regulation. When a child has a difficult time with any of these executive functioning skills, organizing themselves for successful homework sessions can be challenging. Response inhibition is the ability to withhold yourself from doing something that is fun and exciting. If I'm sitting there trying to do my homework and I see something really exciting, my favorite toy over there, I need to be able to inhibit myself from getting up and going to play with that favorite activity. While it may be really fun to do that, it does impede my ability to do my homework. So in order to be successful with homework, I need to gain the skills for response inhibition so that I don't go do the things that aren't important in that moment. Another important skill for success in academics and homework is working memory. Working memory is the ability to gather information for later use. When the teacher says, pull out your math book, open to page 35, and read problems 7 through 10, if the child is able to remember each of those tasks, that allows them to then be successful in the activity that the teacher has given them. If they're not able to hold on to each piece of that information and they have poor working memory skills, they're not going to be successful with the task. They might pull out their math book, get distracted by an interesting picture on page 7, and never get to page 23 that the teacher asked them to do. Emotional regulation is another important task when it comes to success with academics and homework. Sometimes the homework assigned to you can be challenging and it can be frustrating. When those emotions build up and you're not able to regulate those emotions such that you can persist on the task, it becomes almost impossible to do the work. We all experience a wide variety of emotions, and every emotion is a good emotion. They're just not always the right emotion at that time. When a child is feeling exhilaration and excitement, that is great when you're out on the playground playing with friends, but might be a bit of a challenge when you're running around the room trying to do your math homework. So a child's ability to regulate their emotions and be in the right emotional state for the activity is an important piece of success. When a child has weak executive functioning skills, as the ones I described before, it's also often going to have an impact on their homework or their classwork. A child may really want to do the assignment. They're really interested in it even. Maybe they've been promised an exciting reward later for doing it. The motivation is there, but when they don't have the underlying executive functioning skills, they're not able to be successful. Our children often want to do well and struggle with those skills. Our job as their caregivers, therapists, and parents is to help build on those skills so that they are able to be successful in the areas that they want to be successful in. For some children, planners, organizational charts, and verbal reminders are enough for them to do the activities. For our children with ADHD who still are struggling with the executive functioning deficits associated with ADHD, those typical organizational strategies may not work. Our children may need additional scaffolding and supports for them to be successful. They may need help in finding motivation and interest in the activities. They may need help with inhibiting them from playing with something that's more fun and motivating in the moment. They may need help with finding the importance in why they're doing those activities. In our clinic, we really work with both the child and the parent in understanding what some of the key executive functioning skills are necessary for a child to be successful in any given activity. We then work on identifying which of those skills may still be weak and developing so that we're able to strengthen those skills and improve the child's ability. We help parents recognize that our children are trying the best they can with the skills they have available and how they can support their child in developing those skills so they can be successful and independent in tasks in the future. Just because a child is not independent now and needs additional structure and support now doesn't mean that they can't become independent with additional practice and opportunity. A key takeaway on this is when traditional organizational systems don't work for your child, it's important to look at the underlying executive functioning skills and identify if there's something that can be supported. If you are having a hard time with your child's success with their homework and you're not sure if traditional systems are what they need or if there may be an underlying challenge that you're unaware of, reach out to us. We'd be happy to help take a look, identify any challenges that your child may be experiencing, come up with an individualized treatment plan on how we can address those challenges so that your child can be supported in their academic and homework journey.